Good morning. My name is Emma B and I work for the British Geological Survey. It's a pleasure to be here today at Understanding Risk, and I've been asked to set the scene for this session, which is the provocative title, Landslides, the Next Frontier of Hazard Early Warning. First of all, landslides are a global phenomenon. They are frequent and, as this image shows, widespread. Rainfall is the main trigger for landslides, but they can also be triggered by seismic activity and are also induced by human activities such as mining, construction or engineering. Landslides are also responsible for considerably greater socio-economic losses than is generally recognised. As Dave Petley describes in his 2012 paper in Geology, this is in part because, unlike for many other hazards, there has been a lack of systematic data collection about landslides and their impacts, but also because many multi-hazard databases generally classify the trigger, for example a tropical cyclone, rather than the cause of death, such as a landslide. Increases in population, coupled with human activities such as deforestation due to logging, burning and development, are factors that increase the potential for landsliding in susceptible regions. So why are landslides the next frontier of hazard early warning? Well, in recent years, partly because of the Sendai framework, landslide early warning systems have received increasing attention amongst government officials, decision makers and the public, as well as within academia. So by 2030, the Sendai framework aims to achieve substantial reduction of disaster risk, so reducing loss of lives, livelihoods, as well as economic, physical, social, cultural and environmental assets. Landslide early warning systems, which form a non-structural risk mitigation measure, can have lower environmental costs and sometimes lower economic costs to other mitigation measures. As such, many decision makers regard them as an effective tool to achieve the aims of the framework. And early warning systems in general are mentioned in the 7th target, as can be seen in this slide. Yet very few countries have landslide early warning systems, as the availability of robust and good quality data to support their development is often lacking. So what is a landslide early warning system? Well, early warning systems in general are used to generate warning information in a timely and meaningful manner for wider dissemination and to facilitate better preparedness and response. In general, landslide early warning systems are all systems which support the monitoring of one or more variables which trigger landslides, and this is generally in the form of rainfall thresholds. You can have local landslide early warning systems which operate on a single slope, or regional, or sometimes called territorial landslide early warning systems. These operate over wide areas, so at the basin, region or national scale. There are also many community-based landslide early warning systems that have been developed or piloted around the world. The UNDRR highlight 4 key components for a successful early warning system, which are shown here. I'm a co-PI in a 4-year project called Landslip, which is funded by NERC and FCDO in the UK. And this is developing a prototype regional landslide early warning system in 2 case study areas in India. Irrespective of scale, landslide monitoring and dissemination of warning information remains a complex process where technical and communication skills should work closely together. So to achieve the 4 elements that the UNDRR highlights here and ensure action has impact, in Landslip, so our regional forecast model, we are ensuring that there is a convergence of knowledge from meteorology, geomorphology and geology, as well as knowledge from local practitioners to support better understanding of people and cultural dynamics on the ground and within the communication system. This diagram illustrates these points further. The landslide early warning system in Landslip brings together data and expertise within social, meteorological, geological and practical knowledge to develop a forecast showing the likelihood of landslides in 2 case study areas. However, in order to translate this knowledge into something that is useful, usable and used by the end users, it has been imperative to co-produce deliverables with NGOs and the target end users in an interdisciplinary and inter-organisational manner. This ensures that the risk knowledge is disseminated and communicated effectively, but also enhanced and sustained through local engagement. So in terms of the question this session poses, landslides the next frontier of hazard early warning, I encourage you to stay in the session and hear from the other presenters so that you can begin to formulate your own response. Thank you for listening and I hope you enjoyed the session.